Welcome to a journey into the unseen where the safety of our online world takes center stage. Imagine a place where every message you send, every picture you share, and every article you read is safe and sound like whispers in a vast, secure world. Got your attention?
Welcome to the OTech Talks podcast, where it's all about working on technologies. You will hear the latest tech information, and your host, Kashif Manzoor, brings together product overviews, how-tos, best practices, tips and tricks, and troubleshooting techniques.
This episode is about making the internet safer for you and me, whether you are figuring out how to protect your online adventures, curious about the simple steps to keep your digital life secure, or love learning about the internet's hidden side. You are in the right spot. Before I invite today's guest speaker to the show, if you're new to the show or returning as a member of the Open Tech Talks community, Open Tech Talks is your weekly sandbox for AI, machine learning, and technology insights, experimentation, and inspiration. Its primary objective is learning and sharing with the Open Tech Talks community. So you are most welcome. Join the community and be part of the wave of AI. I had a chance to visit WebSummit Qatar couple of weeks back. This was the first time Web Summit was held in Middle East, and I received an invitation as part of the Web Summit Qatar scholarship program. I was thinking, should I go or not? Finally, I have decided to move on with the plan, and it was the right decision. As the world of AI is everywhere, the whole event was dominated by AI talks and showcases. I had a chance to attend many sessions, and I can see that it was the first time I spent considerable time visiting the different pods from so many startups, starting from alpha, beta, and growth stages to attending master classes. It gave me a different perspective and a chance to understand niche solutions to solve specific business problems. And that is going to help me even in my day to day job or even talking to you as a community member. Another aspect of the event was organizing Monday, Tuesday night. Those were the networking events far from the conference area, allowing attendees to have open discussions on various topics. And that was a different compared to any other events or conferences which I was able to attend. And yes, every conference usually have such events. Even you go to any other conferences or in the user groups. As the focus was on AI throughout the event, the most notable sessions, if we talk about from the Amjad Masad, the CEO of Replit, and many more. But if I talk about the most innovative session, which got my attention, was from the creator of Grok, Jonathan Rose, who shared with the live demo on the LPU, the Language Processing Unit Inference Engine. It's a new end-to-end processing unit system that provides the fastest inference for computationally intensive applications like large language models. And after the session, even frankly, I tried it on the Grok, and it is quite fast while you talk to the large language models. Then another event the last week just happened, concluded. It's the Leap 2024 event in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And so many tech announcements were made. It was again one of the largest event on the technology side. And apart from that, now let's invite today's guest speaker to the show and explore the world of digital safety. Are you ready to join the conversation? Let's dive in. Welcome to OpenTechTalks.tv. Today we have a guest speaker, Nick Lorizio. He's the founder of Astute Technologies, and the subject is very interesting and important. When I say interesting, mean sometimes we ignore it about the cybersecurity and all those areas. And important is that as the world is going more into hype of AI, and then we are living more on the social channels. So I think anyone on the corporate world, in the enterprise world, security is at the paramount of any business. So I think we're gonna learn a lot from Nick. So welcome, Nick, to the Open Tech Talks TV.
Hi, welcome. Thank you so much for having me. Grateful for the opportunity.
Great, thank you. So Nick, if someone want to understand on the cybersecurity, and he's a newbie to the business, maybe, or maybe his audience is just working in a technology in any space, he's not in a security domain. So then what he should be aware about it, and how Nick is in his capacities is trying to help them.
Absolutely. So, look, I've been in the industry for quite some time now. Worked for a father-son business. I've gone to mid-market. I've worked in the enterprise level. I've seen a lot of changes over the years, and it changes very
Mhm,
rapidly.
mhm,
Quite frankly, there's a massive talent shortage of over 5 million people in the United States alone for
mhm,
cybersecurity. So I see this as the
mhm.
greatest opportunity in the tech world to innovate and create new solutions to combat this threat. Because quite frankly, it's the largest threat I would say facing uh, our nation today.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's very concerning. Um, we need to drive more resources to this field in order to stay protected and stay secure.
Okay. And if okay, so now let's what Nick was doing over the last 5-10 years. If someone want to from the background, and how what are you doing?
Yeah, so I made a pivot. I actually launched my own business a little over 3 years ago. I'm the co-founder and CEO of AstuteTechnologist.com. We are a
Mm-hmm.
full managed security provider, 24/7
Mm-hmm.
monitoring, remediation, inspecting internet traffic, making sure that it's not coming from foreign states that are not allies with us. We're
Mm-hmm.
stopping those threats before they occur, it's really a psychological warfare where you can change and edit the information being displayed on your digital device. Because, quite frankly, we're so reliant on these devices today that we didn't have access to our phones. I'd be very concerned how long society could sustain resource.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now let's get some tips from you now. If someone is working in an IT space, and he maybe is in business or applications or something, so, and he's not bothering about the security. Even security is for him is a overhead, that he can't access so many things in his office. So, or maybe he's always complaining that so many security measures are there. So in your opinion, maybe you can give him some insight why it's important and what he should be doing.
Right. This is where the board will blame the stressed out chief information security officer. And that's why I always say it's a board level decision. We need to
Mhm,
be driving resources. It's a business decision, right? It's not a
mhm,
technology decision. This is to make sure that your interests are aligned. They're protected from outside interests and threats.
mhm.
A very popular marketing term, zero trust. I like it
Right.
and I don't like it, right? Because I don't want to be
Mhm,
living in a world of extreme fear and
mhm.
paranoia all the time. However, it's important to trust whoever the provider is that you're dealing with on a basis and has a lot of control over the information that's being displayed on your.
And how the companies are achieving it as of now, if we talk about.
Well, they're working with firms like myself, a nice third party intermediary, right? In order to
Mhm,
cut costs, streamlining vendors, making sure that in order to drive more resources to cyber defense strategy, you really need to streamline those vendors. You don't want 8 switches from 8 different companies, right? I
mhm,
don't want servers in AWS, like Astute Private Server Cloud,
mhm,
Oracle, Microsoft. Like, let's be a little agnostic, a little bit democratic to all these providers. However,
mhm,
let's pick a function for each one of them to provide and come
mhm.
in with a very streamlined approach from the ground up.
And this approach definitely need for the C levels, that they need to drive that one. So how the messages need to be passed, or maybe what are the gaps right now which they're not understanding?
Well, it's going to be a rip and replace model. You have to come in and take all these old appliances out, no more legacy equipment. You have to be
Hmm.
on a SaaS model today, right? And the
Hmm.
COVID pandemic crisis that we're still feeling the effects from, unfortunately. Um, you know, when that happened, all the project work stopped, right? So all the small, medium IT providers got purchased by private equity, large
Hmm.
financial banks that bought them
Hmm.
up,
Hmm.
saw an opportunity there. So the market's been consolidated, and really, I see a lot of opportunity for new solutions to come in, and not have so many disparate tools and systems all conflicting with one another.
Hmm. Okay. So can you talk about some of the challenges which are being faced by maybe individuals or the organizations, and why they need to invest on the security?
Well, it's the mental health of your workers. It's making sure that they're comfortable in their environment, right? It's making sure that your assets are protected, that your business operations can stay up and running and online, right? You don't want to have
Hmm.
a ransomware attack take down your network for days, right? How long can you sustain operations? Kind of like the disaster recovery
Hmm.
approach, right? During that time.
Hmm.
So now it's like, okay, how long can I sustain operations and make payroll before I can't collect invoices? I can't bill the client, right? So if that happens and a cyber attack intercepts your banking and routing,
Hmm.
you can be put out of
Okay.
business tomorrow.
All right. Now let's walk through a scenario of startups where they have a challenge in the budgets, and they are new to the business, but they are developing, launching products, and they are not investing on the security part in the initial early days of, or maybe early years of their growth. So what are the some of the messages which are for them, or maybe suggestions how they can achieve something with a limited budget, or maybe they should be looking into it?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of startups will leverage cloud apps like Google Cloud, right? So your
Hmm.
emails in the
Hmm.
cloud, your file storage is in the cloud.
Right.
It's a more cost effective option. A lot of startups grow so rapidly once they catch wind that roles and responsibilities aren't really figured out yet. So to pivot to like a Microsoft solution usually doesn't happen until in the later stages once they're more
Hmm.
developed or have gone public, whatever happens,
Hmm.
then they convert. But most startups will leverage a tool like Google Apps, right? So when they do
Hmm.
that, there's a lot of features built in at the administrative level that they can leverage optionally. However, I would enforce some of these policies like multi-factor authentication, which is a
Hmm.
no-brainer to me. Yet 80% of the market still opts out of it.
True. 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 And now, moving from startups to individuals as humans, and we are relying on our emails and the sharing documents and drives and all that. So what are the strategies we need to follow? You and me need to follow. Nick need to follow. Kashif need to follow.
Well, it's crazy to me. I'm putting a lot of free education and resources out there, and you can go out there and train yourself and watch
Hmm.
videos. Right? There's a lot of resources. Some people don't take advantage of those, and I hope more people do. And really, it's about driving awareness to the problem.
Hmm.
It's explaining that hey, when an email comes in, look at it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and make sure that it's there's no misspellings. It looks like it's from somebody you trust. Hey, if it's a really important email, like a massive $100,000 wire transfer, maybe I call and verify that it's in fact coming from the vendor or the
Hmm.
client, and before you actually hit send and wire.
Hmm. Okay, very well. Okay, now maybe I will go back to at the start of our conversation where you said there is a shortage of talent in the cybersecurity. Right. So how we can improve this? one is how we can improve this, and I think once you address this one, maybe you can also uh, put some light on for individuals that if they want to adopt to this career, or maybe what they should be doing it.
Absolutely. So I think there's a number of things here. We need to get this into
Mhm.
our colleges and be teaching more practical things, even at the high school level, that prepares people for real world and business.
Mhm.
It's not, you don't see it in trade schools. You don't see it in a lot of even universities. I was fortunate; it was newly introduced when I was in college.
Mhm.
Um, but I think it's really it's growing interest in the subject. It's growing awareness. It's shifting those corporate dollars to fund these initiatives and make sure that you're realizing that by the time it hits insurance, it's too late, right?
Mhm.
So focus more on prevention and not remediation. So, yeah, it's driving awareness, it's educating, it's getting it into the schools, and realizing that, yeah, today, just a few years ago, I can't believe it's been that long, but we all went online, we all went remote. The world changed
Right. Right.
overnight, and we are in different locations now.
Mm.
The economy has shifted. The way we work and live is different. And we need to be accepting
Mhm.
of that change. And we also need to be mindful that what we see on our screens is not always the truth.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Now, moving back to, I'm treating as you said 3 years back, you pivoted to this business. So maybe as a founder of, and if we treat this as a startup mode, what are maybe what's the biggest mistake you made as a founder of Astute Technologies?
Biggest mistake. Oh, no one likes to talk about that, but there's many. I probably invested too much money and ad dollars into digital media when I first started, right? Not
Mm-hmm.
realizing that my typical buyers of an older demographic, a
Mm-hmm.
different type of
Mm-hmm.
business owner, right? And that's who I really needed to be targeting. And perhaps I should have, shifted some of those dollars to a 30-second radio ad, right? I probably would have got
Right.
a lot more phone calls. So
Mm-hmm.
realizing that I probably targeted a different demographic than I should have. I invested a lot into the legal side, which I probably would have moved those dollars into more marketing, which has a much better ROI.
Mm-hmm.
Return on investment, and yeah, so it's things like that you just have to learn the hard way. But in the end, it makes you more resilient. It makes you a better business owner.
Right. Now, as a founder, what are the tools or maybe technologies which you're using to manage your business?
Absolutely. So we're actually an Oracle partner. We love Oracle. We like their database.
Mm-hmm.
They have a big presence in the Boston area, which is fantastic for me, considering I'm just north of the city. So I'm a fan of Oracle. I've always loved Microsoft. My dad used to work at Microsoft, so I
Mm-hmm.
grew up with that technology. Big fan of Office 365 and what they've done, and recently Apple as the largest company globally, which is very impressive thanks to their SaaS
Mm-hmm.
model, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
that, but it's saying, okay, hey, I'm going to leverage Microsoft's like SaaS and software, but let's
Mm-hmm.
also keep Oracle happy, right? Let's not just pick one partner and take over the world. Like no one wants to see that.
Right.
That's very un-American. So let's make everyone happy here. So yeah, and then it's saying, okay, like Cisco Meraki is a great tool, great product. That's another
Mm-hmm.
United States business. Let's partner with
Mm-hmm.
them on the Meraki side. A lot of great tools on
Mm-hmm.
there, auto configure and things like that, where you can easily and remotely deploy and ship products like directly to the
Mm-hmm.
consumer or business, which is very
Mm-hmm.
impressive. So we're going to leverage the state of the art tools. We're going to leverage AI and Copilot and all the new
Mm-hmm.
features that come out in 365, and we're just gonna run like hell.
Okay. And now, being a founder, you must be looking for a new talent in your organization. So, what are the key characteristics you target in the candidates while you are hiring for your organization?
Resilience, we really like veterans here. We also, we value a nice, well-rounded education. Um, People that are athletic, that have a balanced
Mm, mm,
education. Liberal arts is great, that have looked at history and learned from the past and understand that history repeats itself. And some of those sort of things are great. It really boils down to the resilient personality type that is a fighter. Um, we actually look to franchise our model across the United States. We
mhm,
want those people, those key people, to be able to come in and really affect change in those local economies.
mhm. Okay. And what are the services you provide to the customers from a security point of view?
Absolutely. So it's really going to be our CyberGuard Elite product. That's the 24/7 monitoring and remediation of cyber threats and stopping them before they happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our primary product as of right now, as well as our AI tool called the Student Advisor. AI you can
Mm-hmm.
trust, right? I'm the creator. So it's a very great tool that I've used in every aspect of my business. So
Mm-hmm.
I would leverage those tools. I would leverage a Student Advisor, which is a rev share model with ChatGPT. Is a Microsoft partner. So it's leveraging that. It's continuing to build out our portfolio. However, I want to keep it as simple as possible for the consumer to understand, because in my prior experience dealing with very bloated approaches with lots and lots and hundreds of pages of products and services, it can be
Mm-hmm.
confusing, and it's designed to be that way. As a sales engineer and someone who designs these systems, I do not want to take that approach in mass market.
So is it your own developed product?
Yep, absolutely. Yep, Astute Advisor, and then we have Astute Connect, which is our own proprietary software.
Okay. And how long it took you to
Well, it's
develop it?
been it's been a little over 3 years now.
Okay. And now let's maybe go back to how you got this idea that I need to build this product.
Well, really, I saw this massive shift where all these managed service providers were being purchased. Like
Mm-hmm.
I worked in the private equity space, and we were acquiring 4 to 5 MSPs per year, right? And these
Mm-hmm.
are mom and pop, father son, businesses 20, 30 years old. A lot of them started
Right.
during like the dot-com boom. So an old break fix model, trying to convert them to SaaS, right? We bought them, we'd keep the owner on for maybe a year, and then we'd convert
Mm-hmm.
them to a SaaS model with all our products and services. However, I saw a lot of conflict, right? A lot of different personality types, a lot of different business owners with, oh, I like Fortinet, right? Or I like, Cisco. Okay, well, does it
Mm-hmm.
really matter? They both do the same function, state of the art. So let's
Mm-hmm.
just pick one and go with it, right? So let's streamline, standardize, and then rather than leveraging a massive player like ServiceNow, we're just going to have a Stoop Connect that whether you're an independent contractor or small, or you work under our umbrella directly, we're going to be able
Mm-hmm.
to be the matchmaking piece that
Mm-hmm.
brokers you, the talent, and
Mm-hmm.
the person requiring the service. That's the
Mm-hmm.
proprietary piece.
This is Astute Connect.
That's a Stu Connect. Correct.
And what about the guard? Which one?
CyberGuard
What
Elite.
what? Yeah.
Yep, that's a fairly new service that we launched
Mm-hmm.
to help grow more rapidly and just go to market very quickly. Provide a per user pricing model
Mm-hmm.
scale.
Okay. And maybe I'm not sure if it's the right question. So how is it going business wise?
Good. No, I mean it takes about 3 years to turn a profit, but I've
Oh, okay.
bootstrapped. Yeah, I bootstrapped the heck out of it. I took all the
Mm.
profit from my book that's became a bestseller in multiple categories on Amazon, and I reinvested all the profit back into the marketing business.
Ah,
So I've
okay.
done a
So
lot
what
of
was that
creative
book?
things.
Okay. What was it?
Digitalization, the new normal of
Okay.
the post-pandemic world. Yes,
Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. That's interesting. So
copyrighted by
even
Nick Lorizio.
mm-hmm. Okay, please go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I wanted to make sure that I got the copyright out there as I saw all these changes happening.
Okay. Okay. So even you, I mean, as you said, bootstrapped. So you have itself in your own story of starting in cybersecurity as a startup, rather than it's just not only helping the other organizations to achieve the security parameters.
Correct. We're not a help desk.
Mm,
AI's your help desk, right? That's a student advisor. I forgot my
mm,
password. Go to the student advisor, right? We do
mm,
not want to be in that business. I don't want to be picking up the phone because you forgot your password on, Saturday night at 3 in the morning. I don't want to hear that. So,
mm,
we don't want to be in that business.
mm,
That's like 80% of all MSP's business, right?
mm, mm.
Astronomical rates. So we
Mm.
just don't want to be playing that game. We want to be a top tier premier.
Okay. So how with the AI at the top of everyone's mind and in organization's board level. So how you are incorporating AI into your products, or maybe is it you're you're part of right now product development or any models and machine learning you are incorporating?
Absolutely. So it's trained. I mean, we just like every other software product out
Mm-hmm.
there has AI integrated to look, just like
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft does, right? And ever since Norton, I mean, antivirus or any of these guys, like it, there's some automation to look for a certain type of file or look
Mm-hmm.
for, so we have that built in, and we have it to, look for, hey, is this traffic coming from China? And it shouldn't be,
Mm-hmm.
right? Are you
Mm-hmm.
doing business in China? And shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
you're a 100-person company servicing mid market in
Mm-hmm.
the East Coast
Mm-hmm.
United States, and you
Mm-hmm.
know why is this internet traffic? So we can stop that. However, I think there's always going to be a human element, and you need to
Mm-hmm.
be able to have that oversight 24/7, 365.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Maybe a last question before we conclude, have a concluding remarks. So as you started, it was a new venture for you. So you must be getting some recommendations from your maybe colleagues, friends, or family members, or maybe some people who are you started sharing your idea. So what the are a common, we can say, bad recommendations which someone need to ignore it if he's starting such type of business, or maybe startup or bootstrapping or whatever, in any category.
Get a job. No, I here's a task. No, so yeah, I would say that's probably the toughest thing to fight. And I think a lot of it has to do, your
Mhm,
parents do care about you.
mhm,
You have to find a supportive group of people that
mhm,
are similarly minded, that
mhm,
are ambitious, hardworking, that have your back and are encouraging when it gets hard, because it gets really hard.
mhm,
So,
mhm,
it's also realizing the market, and it's a lot of timing. So, there's been a lot of layoffs. I think it
mhm.
was I just
Yeah,
read it's like over 40 tech companies have laid people
true,
just this year, and what it's January 17th.
true.
It's 46 or something. So,
Mhm,
it's realizing that the opportunity to go make half a million bucks, fairly early on in your career at one of the larger firms just isn't
mhm,
there right now. So I'm
mhm,
probably better off taking on the more risk at my,
mhm,
where I'm at in my career. It is a really good timing. So I think that's key. You want to be in good
mhm,
health and good fitness because the stress and,
mhm. Okay, very very well, addressed to that one. And as you said, if I go back before we conclude, maybe it just comes one more question, last question. You invest a lot of money on the marketing side and on all that one, and now a new startup or a business is developing his any SaaS product, his or her SaaS product, or any in any field. And now he's just waiting for some customers come and subscribe to that SaaS product. Any advice for him?
I wouldn't say it's a waste of money on the digital
Mhm,
ad spend. Like you just
mhm,
had, I would just say that I'm an early adopter. right?
Okay.
I would say that I'm ahead of the game. I would say that,
Hmm.
like what we're doing right now is highly, highly important.
Hmm.
The cold call no longer works. We've just established a connection, I hope. Right. So
Hmm.
I would say that that is, this is the future and we're ahead of schedule and that's a good thing. And I wouldn't say it's a waste. However, like I said, early adopters, I was able to get a large following of the
Hmm.
millennials, of the,
Hmm.
Gen X, Gen Z. Like I'm starting
Hmm.
to hit that with TikTok. Right. So, it's just getting in at the right time.
True.
That's all it is. So,
All right. All right.
but I'm starting to move to the other demographics, and I'll still give radio some love and put a
Sure. Got
so
it. Got it. Thank you so much, Nick, for joining Open Tech Talks. And if you want to just share your concluding remarks or anything, if you.
absolutely get in touch. Please reach out to me on LinkedIn. My website's astutetechnologist.com. That's plural. You can email info@astutetechnologist.com, as well as follow me on my socials, Instagram @nlorizio, TikTok @nlorizio_official, as well as purchase my book, Digitalization, the New Normal of the Post-Pandemic World, released 2 years ago. It's been a bestseller and proud of that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining the show. I really wish you good luck with your the way you are driving your products, and along with these, even just exploring and teaching the others, so that they can go and join this domain, especially the cybersecurity. That's really appreciated.
Thank you so much for having me, and I hope we stay in touch. Have a great rest of the day.
Thanks for listening to the O Tech Talks podcast and be part of Tech Talks at otechtalks.tv. It's a turf to share ideas, insights, and innovations.